Hi, my name is Emily Ann Hoffman, and I have a short film at the 2018 Sundance Film Festival called Nevada. Yeah, so Nevada is a stop-motion animated comedy about a young couple who has a birth control mishap, and so they have to talk about Plan B, taking emergency contraceptives, and all of the conversations that people have when they're put in those situations. So the story came from personal and shared experiences of young female friends having to take Plan B or talk about emergency contraceptives with their partners and having really awkward and hilarious and sometimes endearing conversations. And all of these conversations were had behind closed doors. And so the story kind of came from wanting to destigmatize these conversations because I think a lot of people have been in these scenarios, but we just don't talk about it that much. And it's something that happens often and can be a big deal or it can be a small deal, and it's just about putting these conversations at the forefront. Yeah, so I became involved with Adobe last year as a Sundance Ignite Fellow, which is their fellowship for 18 to 24-year-old filmmakers. And Adobe sponsors that. Adobe Project 1324 sponsors the Sundance Ignite Fellowship, so I got to meet the wonderful Adobe team, and I'm so glad to continue that relationship this year. Through the Sundance Ignite mentorship, that was more of a mentorship of what do I do now that I'm making this film, and so they kind of helped steer me back towards Sundance and connect me with people to broaden the horizons of sharing this film. So making the film from start to finish, we used a lot of different programs, a lot of different processes. I start with pen and paper, making sketches, storyboards, writing the script. Then I take this storyboard and the script and I record my voice actors and I make a radio edit with their dialogue. With their dialogue, then I take my images that I drew for the storyboard, import it into Premiere, and I edit that as the pacing of the film. Then I use Drag and Frame, which is a stop motion software, and I animate the puppets and the sets that I all built by hand, and that's a very physical process, taking photos frame by frame. Then I export that footage from Drag and Frame, import it into Premiere, and I replace the drawn images that I had in Premiere with the stop motion footage. Then on top of that, the characters' faces are hand-drawn rotoscope animation, which is when you take live action footage, you trace it frame by frame to animate it. So I take the videos I took of my voice actors, import it into Photoshop, draw over their mouths and their eyes, export that footage on a transparency layer, put it back into Premiere so that it layers over the stop motion that I already shot. And then the last step, after I've edited all that, is to put it in After Effects and erase some of the blemishes that happen with stop motion. So you have to screw the puppets' feet into the set as they're walking to get them to stand up, so they leave behind these little holes that you don't really want. So in After Effects, I polish that up, then bring that footage back into Premiere, export it, and it's done. Being here at Sundance with a film is absolutely surreal. I 2 years ago would have never imagined that I'd be here as a filmmaker at this point. So I am beyond grateful and inspired. The most exciting part is probably the other short films in my short film program are so wonderful, and it's incredible to look at the lineup and realize that I'm part of that lineup. So that's been really amazing, and my favorite reactions is just screening it and hearing audiences laugh and hearing audiences react to the film. That's always really rewarding to hear the jokes hitting at the right spot. And then the other thing is it's a story that I think people find a lot of connection with, whether they've been in that exact situation or something similar. It's amazing to hear people tell me that they've connected with the characters, especially because the characters are puppets. They're stop motion puppets, and so people have said, they're very real, and that's really rewarding to hear.